All right, everybody, welcome to Love and Surrender Part 1. We're talking about the alignment solution. That's what I'm calling it, the alignment solution. And I've been given a name for what we all do, no matter what, is love and surrender. Love and surrender is how we align. And when we align, what we're aligning with is our truth, our purpose. We're aligning with God. For 5 fixed survival focuses of the human mind that our mind consistently becomes obsessed with. And the only way to stop the obsession of the mind is to be in alignment with God. The more you are aligned with truth, the more you have peace and comfort assurance. You see, these are all relative. These 5 fixed survival focuses are all relative. Adequate food and clothing and shelter, that could just be a towel wrapped around your waist. I don't know. Depends on who you are. Profitable culture, religion, a nourishing environment. All of these are so relative, right? So these aren't really truly measurable except to the mind and the mind's narrative. And so for happiness to happen, it really comes down to your contentment with the past, your peace, feeling secure in the present, and hopeful for the future. And this is relative. But these are related to those 5 fixed focuses. But when you are in alignment of truth, whenever you're suffering, it means that you're misaligned. And there's something that you're not in truth about. And remember, the mind cannot determine the truth. And so that's why we need a mutative experience. My logic is not going to do it for you all. My logic is just going to help you realize where you're unhappy at. And that's the downside of this check-in. Oh, I didn't know what I knew I was unhappy, but now I know where I'm unhappy at. Thank you, Adam, for putting a name to my unhappiness. But even that is powerful, right? How many have ever been lost on a train or lost somewhere and you know where you was at? And it was anxious because somebody you trying to get directions. They're like, where are you at? He's like, I don't know where I'm at. But the moment you can say, oh, I'm here, they can say, oh, okay, just get on this train. It just feels relieving just to name where you're at. It doesn't take away you've been lost, but it can help you name for it. So logic isn't going to align us, but it does support us in having a map. But what aligns us in love is love. It's God. And what is God? God is love. And so what the Spirit has told me is just go back to the very basic beginning. And the very basic beginning is seek ye first the kingdom of God. Why is that so important? Because Jesus taught his disciples and he taught the world, you're going to be worried about all of these 5 things all the time. All the time, your mind is going to be fixated on these 5 things. If you get adequate food, clothing, and shelter, if you find peace with God in the culture, you get an environment, you get a life mate, you get paths of progress, your mind is going to say, well, we need more paths of progress. We need a more nourishing environment. We need a bigger house. It just never ends. It never ends, right? You secured a partner today, but your mind's going to say, well, you got to do something to hold on to them. You find the right community today, but then your mind's going to say, but you got to make sure that you can contribute to the community. Right? You find a religion that works for you today, but then there's another religion that you now got to fight against because somebody else got a new way to do things. And again, there's always more. So these are always going to be fixated. That's why Jesus taught his disciples, just seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these other things you worried about are going to be added to you. He said, consider the lilies of the field. Consider the birds of the air. They ain't busy worrying about these things, but yet they get taken care of. All these things we added to you. If you seek to align yourself in the love and light of God, all these other things will be worked out. It's love. And our friend, the Apostle Paul, wrote a beautiful passage about love. John said God is love. And then the Apostle Paul wrote in his First Corinthians letter to his people in Corinthians, he said, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. Keeps no record of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. This very beautiful picture of someone trying to lay out to us what is love by showing us this is what it ain't, but this is what it is. And the opposite of love is hate. Hate is a form of resistance. When you align in hate, you are resisting your life force. You are resisting spirit, and you're resisting light, and you align yourself in darkness. And the more dark you get, the more your mind becomes dominant. The more love you get, the more open you are to mutation. And the more you open to mutation, the more you open to spirit. And that love starts with you. It is about taking the love that is already there, that is already in you, and putting it on yourself. And so every day, you need to have an everyday enlightenment and an everyday religion of love. And an everyday religion of love is asking yourself in every moment, in every action, in every decision, are you being patient with you? You. Are you being patient with you? Are you being kind to you? To you, you're human. To the human that you've incarnated in. Are you patient with your human? Are you kind to your human? Right? Are you not envying other people's human? Right? Are you not boasting about your human? Right? You don't want to envy, but you don't want to boast. You don't want to be proud, because these are all things that are going to lead you to misalignment. We can break down every last one of these, and I intended to do it, but I don't feel so led to do it today's lecture, but we may go back and do it. Each one of these can be broken down about how they lead to misalignment. So here is an easy way to keep ourselves in alignment, is through love, right? Love is not proud. Well, I guess I will break it down. Patience, right? Patience is so beautiful, because when you're patient with yourself, first and foremost, it allows you to be patient with other people. And when you can be patient with other people, you win support. And when you win support, you win security. And you win security, you win the knowingness that you are going to be in good hands in the future. Because there is nothing in this world that can manifest out of thin air. We have not reached that level of evolution where we can manifest stuff out of thin air. So anything that God is going to give to you that is good, guess where it's going to come from? It's going to come through the hands of somebody else. It's going to come, you can manifest whatever you want, or you can attract it and line it to you, but it is going to come through the hands of somebody else. Got to deliver it. Somebody else it's going to come through this. If you think back to everything great that has shown up in your life, it came through somebody else, a few people. And they were people who felt like they were inspired to support you. And they were people that at some point in your life, you had to have some type of patience with. It will never, ever return to you void. It'll always come back. But the most important person is you and then others. But if you can learn to be patient with your own human, you can learn to be patient with other people. And when you're patient with other people, you win support. You win support. And when you win support, you win. You win. Because the world, God, blesses us through the hands of others. Everything that we're doing is through others. Everything that is going to come from you is going to come from others. You will get nothing. Again, nothing is going to manifest out of thin air. Everything that you want is going to come through somebody else. Love is kind. Are you kind to yourself? Hate is not kindness. It lacks kindness. It's rude. The opposite of kind is rude. How do you speak to yourself? How do you speak about yourself? Are you kind to your human? Are you rude to your human? Are you rude to your human? Do you hate your human? Are you rude to it? How do you speak about your human? This is how you're going to speak to other people. If you are rude to your human, you will be find it okay to be rude to others. And when you are rude to others, you will be turned with more rudeness. Kindness is king, but it starts with being kind to you. It does not envy. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that envy is ignorance because you do not have to envy others. Love does not envy others. Love, again, supports others. Love celebrates others. Love says, whatever they have, I'm happy for them to have it. And I know that I will have what I need. I know I will get mine. Desire makes us envy others. And envy others is the reason why Walter Emerson says that envy is ignorance, because when we envy, we're ignorant of our own abilities. We're ignorant of our own uniqueness. We're envy of our own talent and grace that's given to us. How can you align in your magic? How can you find your magic? Well, the thing that, again, that makes us envy is ignorance to our own uniqueness, right? We see somebody doing something and we're trying to be the same. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit is coming through to say that envy is a result of you trying to be the same as somebody else. When you find yourself envious, jealous, you have to ask yourself, in what way am I trying to be the same as that person, but I'm failing? What way am I trying to be the same? What way am I trying to be the same and I'm not doing a good job? And then so you have to then recognize, okay, well, let me stop trying to be the same as them. And how can I just be me and accept that being me, I will be rewarded. I'll be taken care of as me. I envy good looking physique men sometimes, most of the time. And I'm like, man, I want a body like that. But I don't want to work to get the body. I want to put in the work. I want to go to the gym. I don't want to do all of that. So I envy that look, right? Because I want to be the same as them. But the more that I can accept that that's just, let me quit being that. Let me just kind of enjoy who I am. Let me enjoy the things that I do like to do. Let me enjoy my own body's shape and size and recognize that if I enjoy this shape and size, if I enjoy what I do, I'm aligned with other people who enjoy it. I can find a lover who enjoys it. Sorry to make that about me, but I was trying to give an example of saying this. All right, it doesn't boast. Hate brags and boasts. And this is all connected. You're envious, and then when you hate yourself, you try not to be the same. You try to be the same. And then you get braggadocious and you boast about it. I'm not like this. I'm not like that. I got this. I got this. But that's a misalignment, because what it's going to do is it's going to keep you locked in to trying to be the same. It's going to keep you locked in and trying to win and stay on the ground where you can always brag and boast. Because more bragging leads to needing more brag. Because then the harder you brag, the stronger, the more you brag and boast, the more you're going to resist humility. And love is all about not being proud. Hate lacks humility. Humble yourselves, the scripture proverb says, and you shall be exalted in due time. I was riding my bicycle on the Beltline the other day, and I was in the flow. And I was riding my bike, and it was crowded because it was the day after Thanksgiving. And so I was trying to weave in and out, but I kind of stumbled. And this lady said, and you can wait, with an attitude. It roused up something in me that had not been there for many years. And a part of me wanted to go back and circle back around and say, who are you talking to? And I was going to had this whole thing in my head to be like, I wanted to say to her, you need to be very careful who you speak to, because you got a good one today, but you can get yourself in danger speaking to a Black man like that, young white girl, in Atlanta. Because she was a young girl, and she was like, yeah, you can wait. And with an attitude, it really bothered me so badly. And then I said, Adam, what's the problem here? What's going on here? She was right. I had a choice to stop, but I said no. I didn't want to block my flow. I didn't want to stop, and I wanted them to move out of my way because I was like, they see me on this bicycle, they should move out of my way. But it was a humble drink I had to drink. It was so humbling. And I mean, I really want to go back around and like give her an encouragement of how I just wanted to make her feel. And that's what I was getting to. As I was riding away, I kept trying to figure out, what is this? And I wanted to return. She humiliated me. And other people look like, damn, you let that girl talk to you like that? And they may have not thought that. I don't know what they thought. But I wanted to turn around so bad and humiliate her. And I had the perfect logical story. I was going to use this 1222. I was going to really, I had an image. I wanted her to say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I wanted her friends. I want to make them humiliated. Okay, I'm recording this. So now it's going to be live and the world's going to know my true sentiments. But anyway, that's the truth. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It's not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. The opposite is you don't find joy in truth and you keep record of wrongdoings. These are all the things, you all, that are so beautiful that help us align and stay in alignment. If you align in love, whether you're feeling it or not, if you align with love of your human, if you align with love of your others, you are going to align with God. And when you align with God, you're going to align with peace. And then you will always be able to have the secret happiness. And this is why it's love and surrender, because to align in love is to require surrender. I had to surrender to the humility. I had to let it go. What prevents us from love is the ego pain. It's the ego pains that kill us. Because what we have to, when I say love and surrender, what we have to surrender to is the inferiority, the ego death threats. At the end of everybody's suffering is the fear and threat of death, but not so much physical death as ego death. The fear of threat of being seen as ugly. The fear and threat of being seen as dumb. The fear and threat of being found unlovable. And the threat of being found useless. So this is both a pain and a death that we have to go through, right? It's the pain. My lack of love and the lack of my last relationship not working out, it made me feel such like a failure. And that failure, the pain of being seen as a failure, being found unsuccessful, is so painful. But in that pain is how we evolve. Pain actually, when you surrender to pain and don't suffer, it actually begins the process of triggering the body's consciousness that it's time for mutation to happen. That squirrel only was able to develop the wings through the stress and the pain of not being able to get to the tree. The animals that evolved came about through stress. Someone's stress and pain birthed us into this world. Pain and stress does not have to be suffering. Athletes play through pain. We were born, we were birthed through pain. And so the moment you can surrender to the pain of being found unlovable, the pain of being seen as dumb, the pain of being seen as ugly, the pain of being a failure, the more you can surrender to it and start resisting it, the more you can walk in love and the more that mutation can happen. And that mutation is going to give you the strength to keep loving and keep surrendering. And then you can find yourself in alignment and you can find yourself content with the past. You can find yourself secure in the present, and you can find yourself hopeful and confident future because you know, as long as I'm in love, all will be taken care of and I will be well. And that brings us to 12:30.